You're listening to the Pharmacist Answers podcast. I'm Cynthia, the pharmacist, and today you'll get your questions answered and your curiosity cured. If you don't sleep, you will die. There are so many important things that happen to your body when you sleep that if you don't have that reset time, that your body will break down at a much quicker rate. They've done studies and they've got connections with increased heart problems, increased diabetes, increased risk of stroke if you're not getting an adequate amount of sleep. The way that you prepare for sleep is called sleep hygiene. It really doesn't have anything to do with actually being clean or dirty when you go to sleep, but it's just about having things in order and having your environment and your mindset and everything optimal for the best sleep possible. So 4 areas of sleep hygiene: your environment, your habits, what you consume, and your mindset. The environment that you sleep in, you want your environment to be dark. It's so much harder to get good sleep with technology. And part of it is most of our technology is lit. It's backlit. Your computer screen emits light. Your phone screen emits light. Your TV emits light. And it's not natural light. In the day when there was no electricity, the only light you had to depend on was the sunlight, and then when it got dark, you had just enough candlelight or firelight to find your food, find your bed, and go to sleep. And there wasn't much hanging out and doing stuff once it got dark. So your body is dependent on that cycle. The sun comes up, your body senses that sunlight, and it creates a chemical that allows you to be awake and alert and in a good mood most of the time. And then when it gets dark and that chemical isn't made anymore, the darkness then allows a different chemical, which is called melatonin, to be created that causes your body to go to sleep. So if we have this artificial light, now that we have electricity and all of these technology tools, then we're not allowing the serotonin to turn off and the melatonin to turn on to be able to tell ourselves this is the natural time for you to sleep because it's dark outside. So your environment needs to be dark. Your environment also needs to be relatively cool. You don't want to be cold, but your body has this optimal temperature. It's almost like mini hibernation, where your body cools down enough and slows down enough that you can sleep well and sleep deeply, and not just ending up in REM cycle and your mind going crazy because you're dreaming, but actually getting deep into deep sleep, that stage 4 sleep where you actually have rest and recovery happen for all the processes in your body. So you want your environment to be dark. You want your environment to be cool and comfortable. Your habits. You don't want to take naps late or at all, really, because if you convince yourself to sleep during the day, it's harder to convince your body to then go to sleep at night because it kind of tried to do its recovery and rest process at the wrong time, and then it doesn't pick back up on the schedule. Exercise is actually really good for sleep. Early in the morning or in the midday, vigorous exercise can help you sleep better at night because you've worked your body. Exercise helps energize your body, even though you may be tired right after it, but it helps detox your body because your muscles you get a lot of blood flow and get rid of the waste and kind of has a fresh supply. So they are more efficient, but then once that work is over, then your body is able to rest and recover those muscles while you sleep. If you're going to exercise late at night, then a relaxing exercise like stretching or yoga or some type of slow movement, even Pilates can be slow and rhythmic to be able to calm yourself but still get that exercise component that you may want. Getting an adequate amount of natural light. Again, When we didn't have electricity, the sunlight told us when to wake up, and then the lack of sunlight told us when to go to sleep. So having that natural light exposure, whether it's from being outside or the windows open and letting that natural light in, your body understands that signal, and it helps your body stay in a awake during the day, asleep during the night cycle, rather than just depending on artificial light that we have inside. And then you want your routine at bedtime to be as consistent as possible. I have a 3-year-old, and trying to keep bedtime consistent can be difficult, but for her it's easier, and she can make the predictions to say, I take a bath, I put on my pajamas, I have a snack, we read stories, we sing songs, we say prayers, and I go to sleep. And so if you can have a bedtime routine of, I change into my pajamas, I wash my face. Some people like to shower at night, some people like to shower in the morning. But whatever it is that helps you get into a routine and relax and defuse to then get into bed and rest. Sometimes reading is good when you're about to go to sleep, because reading puts people to sleep a lot of times. But you want it to be paper. You don't want to be reading on an electronic device, because, again, the light disrupts that melatonin process while you're trying to go to sleep. So you want to be able to go to bed at the same time every night, or as close as possible, and kind of do the same thing, so your body can predict, I'm going to do this and this and this, and then after that I go to sleep. The third area of sleep hygiene is the stuff that you consume. We are such workaholics and try to get so much stuff done in the small amount of time that is our 24-hour day, that we consume a lot of stimulants. Caffeine consumed late in the day can keep you awake. Nicotine can keep you awake. Actually, consuming alcohol can put you to sleep initially, but you're more likely to wake up in the middle of the night and not able to go back to sleep if you consume alcohol late at night. Because the alcohol gets into your blood and it slows down your processes, and that's what makes you sleepy. But then when alcohol gets to your liver, it gets processed into sugar, and then that causes an energy boost for all the cells of your body, and then you wake up. So that's how that works, and how it can be kind of counterintuitive. You don't want to consume large meals before you go to sleep. There used to be a myth when it came to fitness and dieting, that you didn't want to eat before you go to sleep because you wanted to have all this awake time for the food to metabolize before you went to sleep, because if you ate right before you went to bed, you'd get fat. But your body actually does a lot more metabolism while you're sleeping. But a large meal on your stomach before you go to bed can keep you awake, one, because of indigestion, because you lay flat and gravity actually helps the digestion process keep moving rather than laying flat and it just settling in your stomach and not making its way all the way through. So large meals can make you uncomfortable or lead to indigestion, which can disrupt sleep. And then dietary changes. If you're trying a new food or you're trying to remove foods that if your body isn't used to using those things in metabolism, then it can either increase your sugar levels that lead to an energy boost when you're trying to go to sleep. Again, certain foods may disrupt your digestive system because it's not used to digesting those things that can lead to indigestion or upset stomach or something that makes you uncomfortable and makes it hard for you to go off to sleep and stay asleep. And then the fourth thing about your sleep hygiene is your mindset. You want to remember that your bed is for sleep. It's not a place to hang out. It's not a place to try to work. One of the worst things about being a college student is that, at least when I went to college and lived in the dorm, my dorm room was a shoebox, and I had a desk and a closet and a bed. And a lot of times the desk was where I ate, and then I ended up trying to study in bed and then trying to go to bed. That's dumb, because this is the place that I was studying and trying to do schoolwork. So then my brain couldn't disconnect. And so if you try to use your bed for all of these other tasks, then when it's time to go to bed, your brain tries to still hang on to those other tasks that you're doing. So using your bed for sleep and relaxation, and not trying to make it a place to work or a place to do other tasks that you could probably do at other comfortable places in your house. And then you want to avoid emotional turmoil before you go to bed, whether it's emotional stress that could be negative or emotional stress that could be positive. Sometimes brainstorming and getting a rash of ideas right before you go to bed, all that excitement can make it hard for you to go to sleep after it's over. If there's a lot of stuff that you have to do and you're trying to process your to-do list, or having tough, emotionally charged conversations before you go to bed, then that can make it hard to go to sleep too. So those are some things that can improve your sleep hygiene if you improve your environment, if you keep your habits where your work and play and fun is during the day, and then your sleep and rest is at night. And watching what you eat and consume to see if there's certain stimulants. Learn when I don't wear my CPAP machine, I wake up with headache. CPAP machines are used for several things. One of the most common is sleep apnea. And if your body doesn't get the oxygen that it needs, it's most likely also not getting the nutrients that it needs, like the sugars and the electrolytes and things like that. So then your brain is essentially deprived during certain times or long extended times of sleep if you suffer with a condition that may lead to that. And so being able to adequately breathe is definitely a very important part of being able to sleep. So that definitely makes sense, Donna, that would, if you forget to use it, that you may wake up more uncomfortable in the morning than you typically would if you, on the nights that you did use it. So keeping your environment comfortable, keeping your habits in check, keeping your food and drinks in check, and evaluating the things that you think about before you go to bed can definitely improve your sleep. And they want you to get between 6 and 9 hours of sleep a night to maintain a healthy balance. Again, because the lack of sleep can lead to things that can kill you, including lots of diseases, but also not being able to sleep good leads to decreased focus, decreased attention span, decreased reactive time, and so you're more likely to be in an accident, whether it's in a car or just being clumsy. And so sleeping is important for your longevity. So thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pharmacist Answers podcast. The pharmacy is now closed. You can post your questions and comments on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/pharmanswerspod. Or you can email the show at pharmacistanswershere@gmail.com. You can tweet me or message me on Twitter @SinHendrix. You can find the show notes at pharmacistanswershere.wordpress.com. Pharmacist Answers broadcasts live on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:02 a.m. Eastern Time on the Periscope app. You can follow me @SinHendrix or view in your web browser at periscope.tv/SinHendrix. See you next time on the Pharmacist Answers podcast.